Actually,
Where was the first office? Were you working out of your bedroom, or were you in an actual place? Or
I mean, so we actually, the first office was right behind Antonio's Nut House, which unfortunately here is closing, which is so sad, on California Avenue. That building doesn't exist. It was like this old dentist building. So you walked in, and it clearly looked like dentist office. It's like a holdover from the 1980s, really small, kind of grungy company. Actually, Roku was right next door, and we used to like steal their Wi-Fi before like we had our Wi-Fi working. Yeah, so that was on Cal Ave. Listen, we worked from our, for the first, 3 months, we definitely worked from our houses or from, sitting around like Bites Cafe in Stanford. But like that was the first proper office.
and so was your focus on developing the stack more, getting customers, fundraising, all the above? How did you approach that in the first 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost embarrassing in that, like, I mean, now looking back, I just think we were so naive, and I was just so naive, where we had what we thought was an interesting technology. And we had a lot of interest from the government, and a lot of interest from companies. But the interest was primarily kind of understand what this is to see if they could apply it. It wasn't like a product level interest. It was more like, like, this is an interesting area, and you seem pretty knowledgeable as a team and kind of smart on this, like, how can we learn together? And so we actually managed to get quite a bit of government funding early on because we're pretty well-known academics. But and we were like, well, we're going to build a general platform and see what happens. And so I'd say a lot of the first year was just like core development, but like it was almost a solution in search of a problem. It really was. Right. I mean, we started in 2007, and within a year, listen, we were kind of fat and happy on kind of government grants and early funding, just generally building technology somewhat aimlessly. I mean, we had some targets, but somewhat aimlessly. It just definitely wasn't a repeatable product. And then, the nuclear winter set in. Like housing prices were down 40%. Like people were like handing their houses back to the bank. People were underwater. I mean, it was just devastating. And, actually I had a faculty offer from an Ivy League school, man. So, here I'm 2008 with a failing company, and people that I really care about. And I loved the space, but I couldn't see a product there. My wife thought at the time that I was crazy. My mom thought I was crazy. And so, I was really close to just being like, okay, like let's call it a day, and I'm going to go be a professor.
Do you have
And then we realized, like, listen, we're not going to be able to raise more money. It's like the good times are over. I remember Sequoia even issued this kind of slide deck, rest in peace, good times, which certainly put the fear in me. Actually, the reason, Andreessen Horowitz, where I'm a GP now, they invested in my Series A. And actually the reason we went with them, and we had quite a bit of interest, was, here's the darkest time in tech forever. And we have, Sequoia saying, rest in peace, good times, and all this negative press, and people saying cut down by 40%, this and that. And that's when like Mark wrote the Software is Saving the World. And I'm telling you, man, I needed a bright light. I needed it. I needed some optimism. I needed something, man. Here I'm floundering with this team. And to have someone that still believed
you can just be
tech,
like, software is eating the network, and there you go.
That's right. Well, yeah, but but that's it. This was like the one
match. It was a destined match. Yeah.
It was just it was a bright spot. It was a dismal time. I don't think people remember how bad. I mean, like we went from like, it was the worst economic environment since the Great Depression. And to have somebody be like, nah, man, like this, I'm still bullish. It's exciting. I was just so happy to have that. And so like we connected with them, and they were phenomenal. But there was a couple of months there. I was every day thinking like, I'm going to take, I'm going to go be a professor, and, I was a failed entrepreneur, and let's move on.